easing just wasn't easing the way I needed it to ease, and we're contemplating my life choices and considering throwing it all away and getting something different. Hey there, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it is your first time here. My name is Erin, and today's video is a collaboration with Lara from Sewing Up Style, so it might actually be your first time here. If you are not already a subscriber of hers, I totally recommend heading over there and checking out her videos. Watch this collab first, but then check out some of her other videos. She has a really cool series right now, like multiple series. One of them is I Saw It, I Made It, where she goes shopping for a ready-to-wear look, but then she comes home and makes it herself and then like suits it to her style and how she wants it a little more than the ready-to-wear look. So I think that is such a great series. She has other ones, but that's just one of them that I really like. And she is so close to 1,000 subscribers. So definitely, if you like my videos, I think you will very much like her videos. We're pretty similar, I think, in our video styles and what we talk about and everything like that. So definitely head over there. We challenged ourselves and challenged each other to sew a dress in 1 hour. Lara reached out and asked if I wanted to collaborate, and when we were talking about ideas, I had this one video idea that's been floating around in my head for a while, but I've just never gotten around to it. And it was seeing if I can actually sew a pattern in the amount of time they give you. So I got this pattern from my mom's stash. It's McCall's 8099. It's from the 80s, 1982, I think. Yeah, 1982. And it's a make it tonight pattern. And I always kind of wondered, like, can I actually make this in a night? Now, this is not my size, not my style, so I didn't want to make this one. We browsed Simplicity's website to see if they still have some of those timed patterns. I knew I had probably seen some, but we wanted to see what exactly they still had in the books. And we found New Look 6352. This is a pattern from 2011. It comes in sizes 8 through 18. It is an easy 1 hour pattern, it says. And it is for the suggested fabrics are crinkled gauze, laundered cottons, silk and silk types, crepe, crepon, laundered silks, rayons, or suede silks and rayons. It has 4 views. Basically, you have knee length or maxi, and then sleeveless or sleeved are your options. So we were off to the race, literally trying to race each other. We timed each section of the process, like cutting the pattern, cutting the fabric, prepping it, and then all the sewing times so that we could see, you know, okay, yeah, can it be sewn in an hour? Sure, maybe. But how long does it take to prep everything? So we wanted to include all of that. I did check-ins throughout the process, so I'm going to go ahead and dive into those now. And when we come back, we will talk about thoughts on the pattern, thoughts on the process, thoughts on the fabric, and just overall how it all went. I'll see you guys after the check-ins. This is the first official check-in of our New Look 6352 challenge. The state of myself may indicate to you how this is going so far. I'm straight up not having a good time. It's 100% because of my fabric choice. But everything is cut. The edges of all the pieces are serged. I'm about to get my machine set up, and then we will start the clock, the official competition clock, to see if this dress can be sewn in an hour. So let me switch some stuff out. I'm going to put a microtex needle in because of my fabric, and then get my bobbin wound, all of that fun stuff, get her set up, and then yeah, I probably won't check in until after the first 15 minutes. I'm going to set 4 15-minute timers so that I can check in and tell you how much I've done and update without it counting against my time. So I will see you guys after the first 15 minutes. This is interesting timing for the timer to go off because I just pulled this. Oh my gosh, what happened? Did I sew something wrong? Let's investigate. I just pulled this over my head to see if it fit, and it looks like something's twisted. Let's find out. It is indeed twisted. How did I do that? What the heck? Okay, so I have to unpick this side seam. I'm not going to do it until I start the timer again because that counts into the sewing time. How did I do that? Cool. Well, that's how things are going. All I've done is stay stitched the neckline, stitched the shoulders and the sides, one of them incorrectly. The next steps, once I unpick and fix this, will be to apply interfacing. Normally I would apply the interfacing when I'm cutting and prepping all of the pieces, but because those are like applying the interfacing to every piece is included within the instructions, I decided to wait, since if they're counting it into the hour, I should include doing it in the hour, is kind of what I figured. So yeah, that'll be next, to apply interfacing, I think, to the neck facing pieces and then attach those. But let's fix this error first. 15 minutes in, 45 to go. I'm still trying to race though also. I'm trying to do as fast as possible. This is why I shouldn't try to do things quickly. Well, I'll check in with you guys after the next 15 minutes. I spent the last 30 seconds looking for my seam ripper, which I found when I stood up to stop the timer. So that worked out really well. I fixed that twisted shoulder super easily. I just unpicked the shoulder seam and then righted it, corrected it, and sewed it. Then I went to put the facing onto the pieces. I realized I had cut 2 of the back facing and 0 of the front facing in interfacing. So I cut the correct one, applied those. Then I took the pattern pieces for those 2 and laid them over the interfaced pieces of fabric to make sure. This fabric is incredibly shifty, so I wanted to see how much it had shifted, and I did indeed have to trim up the pieces just a little bit. They had kind of stretched out a little too long in the cutting process. So I fixed those. Now I am putting together the neck facing. I'm not going to finish this in an hour. I'm already halfway through. Another 15 minutes, and all I've done is get the facing sewn on. I have 15 minutes left, and sleeves to attach, and a sleeve facing to do, and a facing to understitch, so this is not happening in an hour. It's just not. Part of the reason it's taking me a minute is I basted it in first. It didn't line up super smoothly when I pinned it, so I wanted to baste it first to hopefully save myself lots of having to unpick smaller stitches. So I'm unpicking that now, and then I will move on. And that's an hour, folks. I got the facing in and understitched. I was just pressing it right now and snipping some threads. It's very much not a finished dress. So that answered that question. Now I need to keep going to find out how long it actually does take me. And fingers crossed it took Lara more than an hour too. Hopefully it's not just me. I don't think it is though. But yeah, so that is as far as we are. I'm actually going to be done for tonight. It is time to go hang out with my husband and enjoy our Saturday night. I'll come back to this tomorrow and keep timing myself and see how long it takes. I do like it so far, actually. Now that I've gotten past the initial issues with the shiftiness of cutting the fabric, I'm enjoying it. It's simple. It's just taking me more than an hour. See you guys tomorrow. Okay, we are back. It is actually Monday evening. I did not get into the sewing room at all yesterday, but we are back, ready to continue on this dress. Hopefully I finish it in less than 2 hours total. We will see. I have to finish ironing the neck facing and then I think tack it down and then attach the sleeves, do facings for them, and then hem it. I don't know. I don't know about getting this done in less than 2 hours even. Let's get going. 15 minutes goes so fast. I put the basting stitches into the sleeves, did the underarms of the sleeves. Now I am getting the facings ready to go on the sleeves. The facing on my neckline is kind of rolling, which I don't love, but instead of trying to press the heck out of it, I decided to move on because it just wasn't happening. And I skipped the hand stitching. I'm just going to do it all at the end because there's kind of a lot of it. I don't know how this thing is supposed to be done in an hour. Who was finishing this in an hour? Probably a lot of people, but I'm an hour and 15 minutes in, and there's still a lot to do. Okay, let's get back to it. Another 15 minutes. The facing is attached and understitched to one sleeve, and now I'm working on inserting it. I have not touched the facing on the other one yet. At this point, I think this is going to take me 3 hours. Just a guess. That's okay. I'm not actually having to make this in a rush. I'm just annoyed that it's taking so long. When it was supposed to be 1 hour. What the heck? I spent the whole 15 minutes basting in and fixing the sleeve. Still that first sleeve. There were tucks and the easing just wasn't easing the way I needed it to ease, and it was sliding around, and I'm about to actually stitch it. I finally got everything straightened out. 15 minutes. Gone. You guys, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. We will persevere. Another 15 minutes. So yeah, what am I? That was 45 minutes so far. I'm about to be at 2 hours. Cool. Let's get moving before my whole night is gone again and I have to do this yet again on another day. It has been half an hour actually. There was an issue with my timer. It didn't set, I guess, when I thought I set it for 15 minutes, but that's okay because I've been doing these check-ins, so I know how long it's been, and it's been half an hour. The first sleeve is all done except for slip stitching the facing. What took so long with that was pulling out all the basting stitches, because to have a finished product at the end of this, the basting stitches should all be out. And so you had the 2 lines for the ease stitch and then actually basting it in. So I pulled all that out and tried to clean it up. So yeah, I'm hungry. I need a snack. I am now putting the facing onto the second sleeve, and then I need to attach that, which will apparently take me another 45 minutes or so. And then it is all of the hand sewing. It is tacking the neck facing, slip stitching the arm facings, and slip stitching the hem. Am I being unreasonable to say that this cannot be done in an hour? I'm sure someone out there can do it in an hour. I'm sure a fair number of people out there can do it in an hour. But for your one each average person buying this new look pattern, I don't think it can be done in an hour. Not with all that hand sewing. Not if you want it done well. Those are my thoughts right now. I need a snack. And then I will come back. It's already 9 o'clock. My bedtime is fast approaching. So I need to get a move on and at least try to get all of the machine sewing done tonight for this 1 hour project. Another 15 minutes. I just finished basting the sleeve in. So depending how that looks, I'll go ahead and stitch it and be done for the night. I need to go to sleep soon. So honestly, after this next 15 minutes, I'm done regardless. And that'll put me at 2.5 hours. So I will check in one more time before I go to sleep. But yeah, this last 15 minutes is it for me, guys. See you at the next check-in. 11 minutes. All of the machine sewing is done. That one went so much faster. I didn't have as many issues putting it in. It just worked. So 11 minutes, all the machine sewing is done. So tomorrow I have all the hand sewing left, which, dude, that's gonna take forever. This is not a 1 hour dress. It's not a 1 hour dress. Clearly a sleeve can be put in 11 minutes. Sure, but it's, with all the hand sewing stuff, it's not a 1 hour dress. I'm declaring it. I don't know who decided it could be done in an hour. I don't think the average person can do it in an hour. But I'll stop complaining about it and go to bed. I will see you guys tomorrow when hopefully I'll finish this dress. 1 hour of hand sewing later, the facing is tacked down and then the arm facings are slip stitched down. An hour. To be fair, sorry, I'm tired. the second sleeve. I got the facing about halfway done and it was kind of bubbly and just wasn't smooth. So I undid it and redid it as part of what took so long. We decided to machine stitch the hem. Thank goodness. So that's the last thing I have left. The neck facing, I need to try it on, but I don't think it's not laying flat, it's rolling. So I need to decide if I'm gonna try to fix that or not, or just call it. I don't know, because I technically wouldn't wear it with it rolling out. We'll have to see, maybe I can press the heck out of it and get it to behave. Or tack it down in a few more spots. We'll see, I'll figure that out after I hem it. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm tired for tonight. So this, once again, this 1 hour project is now on like day 4, Saturday, Sunday. Like, yeah, day 3 or 4. Thanks, new look. Thank you. Whew. I hope you guys enjoyed that emotional roller coaster, because I did not. Let's get into it. The fabric I chose to use came from Hobby Lobby. It was part of either like their fall or winter 2023 apparel fabrics. It was on like super clearance when I found it, and I just figured with the drape it would be perfect for this dress, which I do think it's a good choice for the dress. I also think I'm not experienced at using silky, slippery fabrics like this because, oh my gosh, it was a pain. I've used stuff like this once or twice before, not a whole lot. And the cutting, let's get into the times. Let's talk about the times. To cut the pattern pieces from the tissue paper took 28 minutes. Did it like I normally do, just kind of watching Netflix with my husband, and cut it out. Cutting the actual fabric. Now, how I usually cut my patterns is I cut out the largest size from the tissue paper so that when I fluctuate sizes, I still have all of them in the packet available. And then, but I cut them out so they're more maneuverable. When I go to cut the fabric, I use pattern weights, and then I use colored paper and a tracing wheel to trace off the size I want to cut. And then I take the paper and the pattern piece off and cut around it. So it's kind of a process, but that way I get to keep all the sizes. So I just cut out the biggest size of everything, all the pieces I needed. I went to cut my fabric, and this is when the slipperiness really irritated me the most. It took 1 hour and 14 minutes. And that is because it was a pain in the behind, and my normal system just didn't work. I had to just cut along the actual line of the pattern. So I ended up pinning the pattern pieces to the fabric, like I think most people cut out their patterns. And then I use a rotary cutter, and I'm cutting around everything. But it would slip so much. It would slip so much. Like, oh, it was so annoying. So probably at least 7 to 9 minutes of that 1 hour and 14 minutes was me just sitting there staring at the cutting mat and my fabric, contemplating my life choices and considering throwing it all away and getting something different. Probably more like 20 minutes was spent doing that, if I'm being honest. So when I got through that without having a little mentee bee, I thought things would get better. I knew it would still be kind of hard to work with, but I remember the last time I used a fabric like this, that after I got through the cutting, it really wasn't that bad. And honestly, working with it after that wasn't bad at all. We did choose to serge the edges of our pieces because we both had fabrics that frayed a lot. And I had texted Lara and said, you know, if we want to see if it can be sewn in 1 hour, I think we should sew it all in the sewing machine. We both recently got sergers and are obsessed with them. But I was like, I think we should do it all in the sewing machine. But she brought up that her fabric was fraying a lot. And then mine also frayed a lot. So we decided to finish the edges of all the pieces with the serger and then sew it on the machine as like a happy medium. So serging all the edges took 22 minutes. That I think should kind of count into total sewing time because I didn't finish my seams any other way. I sewed them on the machine, but all the raw edges were already serged, so I didn't do anything else. Anyway, so that was only 22 minutes. Not bad. then it took 3 hours and 6 minutes to sew the rest of it. I don't know if you know how to math, but that is not 1 hour. That's 300% of how long it should take, according to the pattern. I mean, if you didn't make any mistakes, it would have been a little sooner, a little faster. But I didn't make that many mistakes, I don't think. I know I like flipped this seam, I sewed this, flipped somehow. And then just, I mean, standard mistakes, standard things where you're like, oh, I accidentally caught that, or oh, there's a tuck right there, and you fix it. Nothing astronomically crazy that should have added that much time. But yeah, 3 hours and 6 minutes. That was machine sewing. Hand sewing took 1 hour and 1 minute. So, yeah, that brings us to 4 hours and 7 minutes, which once again is not 1 hour. And that was following all of the instructions. This also leads us to Lara's unfortunate disqualification from the race because she just, to be fair, she decided to disqualify herself. I did not force her out of this race, but she sewed it just as she would sew it, you know? So we're kind of following, we didn't get on the same page with that prior to the race, and we're kind of following our own thoughts on how to execute it. So we did not end up racing each other. Now, let's talk about the pattern itself and exclude the fact that it can allegedly be done in 1 hour. Let's just talk about the pattern. The pattern itself I really like. I like the result overall. There are a couple things I'll talk about. But overall, I really like the result. It's just a pullover woven dress that's like very flowy, and I really like it, honestly. I like it more now that I've been wearing it than when I first finished it. There are some things that turned out a little wonky for me, but the pattern itself I really like. I do want to make the long one, I think. I really, really enjoy it. It's simple, but I think it's flattering. It doesn't look like a sack by any means. I do think I maybe need a full bicep adjustment. I don't know. It feels a little tight when I'm trying to like move, especially like this. When I went to take it off after I first tried it on, I thought I was going to bust out of it like the Incredible Hulk. It was straining for me to pull it. So I think a full bicep adjustment could be done. But other than that, I was a little worried about the neckline being so big, and I know it has to be big so it can be pullover, but I thought it might look sloppy, and I really don't think it does. I think it looks quite nice. I really do like it. The facing kind of tends to flip out on the back, exactly like that. So I might slip stitch it. It only wanted me to tack the facing, but because it's so big, as I move around and like reach and stuff, of course it's not going to do it now, but I feel like the facing tends to flip out as I move when I wear it. So I might just tack it down a little more, slip stitch it a little more to keep it down. But other than that, I really like this dress. I actually, I'm going to wear it for St. Patrick's Day, which is when you're watching this video. And I think it's going to be a great addition to my wardrobe for this summer. And hopefully I'll make another version that I don't have such conflicting emotions about and surrounding, and that I enjoy sewing a little more. Because I'll be honest, I straight up did not have a good time sewing this. And I think it was the self-imposed pressure of trying to sew it quickly and of the fabric I chose, and just, like I said, I spent a lot of time contemplating my life decisions and how I had gotten to this point. To wrap this all up, no, it cannot be sewn in 1 hour in my experience. Yes, it is a good pattern as long as you don't need to sew it in 1 hour. And yes, Lara is a ton of fun to collaborate with. We talked when we were, sharing our experiences and what we were going to say in our videos. And we both said that we would be totally willing and would love to do another challenge like this again, where we see if we can sew something in the allotted time, because there are more like 1 and 2 hour patterns out there. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know in the comments. Head over to Lara's video, see what her experience was and her final dress. I have not seen her dress. I know what fabric she used, but I have not seen the final result, and I'm very excited to see it. So I'm going to be going over to watch her video as soon as it's uploaded. Thank you so much for watching. If you came over from Lara's channel, thank you so much for coming over, trusting her recommendation. I hope you enjoyed this video and watch some of my others if you're interested in more of my content. And if you like them, definitely subscribe and stick around to see more of what I put out in the future. If you are one of my subscribers and you're not already subscribed to Sewing Up Style, like I said earlier, head over there, check out her videos and some of those recent series she's been doing that I mentioned, because they're really, really fun and I am enjoying them a lot. That is it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know in the comments if you want more videos like this. Let me know if you think you could sew this in an hour, or if you have, and what changes you would make to make it even faster. So I say even faster like it was fast. Let me know what changes you would make to actually make it a faster pattern. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.